And we are live. What's up, everybody? The Crab Gamer here, and thank you guys for checking this out. Whether you can join me live or watch the replay later, it's kind of early for some of you guys, off day for me. But with me, I have a special guest, someone who has a small YouTube channel and it's grown, and I'll make sure to link it in the description once it's up. And that's Bella Ryse. Go ahead and say hello to everybody, Bella.
Hey gamers.
And it's very early in the morning where she's at. Where are you at exactly?
I am Canberra, Australia.
Australia, yeah. And what's funny is I came across your videos because you were actually helping or supporting Iron Wolf with his Marcus Phoenix collection, and you did.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you did a video about it, and so I was like, me and some of the guys were watching your videos, and we were like, man, her voice sounds really professional when she does her videos, you know? I was like wishing that my voice would come across that professional. Like you almost sounded like a like you were giving a tutorial in a game or something. You know, it was like very very professional. I was like, wow, like this her YouTube channel can get really big if with the proper kind of push or whatever. So I
Well, the
think
Gears
that
of War franchise is something that's very close to my heart, and particularly, bringing the Marcus Phoenix collection to the next gen it's a major priority for me. It's something that anybody who is a Gears of War fan knows that shit gets in under your skin, and you can't
oh
be without
yeah
it. And
yeah
we need. It's not something we want. We need the Marcus
yeah
Phoenix
I,
collection.
I 100% agree. Now, what do you think about all the other we're getting all these other remasters and things like this. Do you think that it could possibly
Sleeping
cheapen? Do you think it could possibly cheapen like the Halo collection or the Marcus Phoenix collection, or you know what I mean? Like for me, those would be the two big ones for me personally. Like I don't really care about like these other ones, but I think that all these other ones could possibly cheapen what would be the best ones, which would be collections like the Marcus Phoenix collection or the Master Chief collection, or I'm all about value, and when you can get 3 or 4 games for the same price as one, I think that's a good deal. So what do you think about that?
Well, look, at the end of the day, anybody who's a real gamer isn't going to allow what other shit developers bring through cheapen what are, basically the true core games that we grew up on and that we love and that formed and developed our passion for gaming. And those are games like the Marcus Phoenix collection and the Master Chief collection. It doesn't matter what other games they bring through. It's not going to cheapen our love for that. It will jade us a little bit in the regards that they are doing things like bringing out sleeping dogs on the next gen. So
Yeah,
whatever they
in
need to do.
October,
Yeah,
you know,
October.
the like the
And they
busiest month. It's like, hey, do I get Alien Isolation and Shadows of Mordor and Sunset Overdrive, or do I
oh,
buy a game from last generation?
man, that month was insane, and I'm actually really, really, really happy. Well, not me, but my credit card is really, really happy
Yeah,
that there are so many games that have just come forth and gone, you know what? We're just gonna hold off for a month or two.
yeah. Now, what consoles do you have? Which next gen consoles do you have? Do you just have an Xbox One, or do you have other ones as well?
I have an Xbox One, I have an Xbox 360, and I have an OG Xbox.
Oh, so you're just an Xbox fan. Uh-oh. You know what I mean?
Well, look, having said that, don't no no ponies, please, no ponies. Don't just jump in the comment thread right there below and have a bit of a crack at the fact that I only own Xbox games right now because I was a PlayStation gamer and I still have a lot of love for PlayStation because they were a brilliant company and they did produce brilliant games. And even the PS4 itself, as a piece of machinery, is a brilliant, brilliant piece of art. There's nothing wrong with the PS4 itself. What is wrong with it is the first party support and the company's direction. That's where it's let down. If we had the
Now,
same
yeah.
technology from the PS4 in the Xbox One, which we almost do. There's only slight similarities between the PS4 and the Xbox One. And I'll be the first one as a absolute avid lover of Xbox to say that PS, their Xbox 4 actually, the PS4 actually does have slightly better technology in some regards. They're not utilizing it.
Yeah, I mean, what game they would like? Okay, it gets over dramatized that they have a 50% power advantage, and then I will always say, show me the game that has a 50% advantage over any Xbox game, and we just seen Ryse win an award for best real-time graphics, right? So
I know,
they're pretty
right?
similar. I've always said that the PS4 definitely has a slight power advantage in the hardware itself, but as far as I'm concerned, they haven't shown it yet. You know, when you're just talking about a lot of free-to-play games and indies and things like that, and you're even starting to see the resolution thing go by the wayside. You know, I mean, a few weeks ago it was, hey, Diablo 3 is only going to be 900p on Xbox One. Well, the update help fix that. Now it's going to be equal 1080p 60 on both the Xbox One and PS4. Destiny, same way. You know, all these games are reaching parity. The Crew, you know, you have Forza Horizon 2, 1080p. So I think that's going to become less and less an issue as we go on. And people will start looking to other things to kind of promote, you know, it'll fall back onto the sales after that, you know, once
I
parity is reached.
really hope so. I really hope so. I am so sick to death of the only thing that gamers, and I won't specify Xbox or PS, but I'll just say gamers, the only thing that they have to argue is, oh, well, our games are at 1080p, 60 FPS. Dude, I do not give a fuck. Are you enjoying the game that you're playing? Are you enjoying the shit out of what you're playing right now? Can
Yeah.
your eye actually identify the difference between a game that's running at 1080p or 920 or 700 or whatever else? Can your eye actually identify the difference between what you're looking at? Are you going off propaganda that's been put on IGN and DualShockers? Are you just regurgitating shit to me that says, oh, well, that game isn't running at the 1080p that they told me they're running at? As if you fucking know. As if you know. You don't know. What you need to be focusing on is, are you enjoying that game? Are you getting your money's worth out of that game? Yes? Well, then shut the fuck up and enjoy the game.
I like the attitude, and I have to agree. I mean, when you see, you know, like you get real excited for things at E3 or Gamescom's coming up, and you see some demos and things like that. How long before we see Digital Foundry running the pixel counter and the frame rate counter on the Quantum Break demo? I mean, it could be the most, and they have said, Remedy Games has said they're going to have this amazing face melting demo of Quantum Break at Gamescom. But how long before we see, yeah, we see Gamescom or we see Digital Foundry say, oh, well, this is only 900p and 30 frames per second, and it dipped down to 28.5 frames right here and here and here. You know what I mean? Even though the game doesn't come out till next year, they're going to try to nitpick it, and you know, I mean, I don't.
That's what gamers do. That's what gamers do. It's like a book. They'll take a book and they'll look at the cover and they'll go, oh, well, you know, the imagery and the 5 words that they've given me on the front of this book makes me think that, you know, reading War and Peace is totally not worth my while. I'm just going to put that aside. That's what gamers do. And you know, I don't know, it's really
frustrating.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Like, don't fucking judge a game by its trailer. Don't look at the CGI and go, oh, well, this is exactly what I could expect from my $100 that I'm going to go out and pay, and then get the game and play the multiplayer and go, well, this does not look like the CGI at all. Of course it doesn't fucking look like the CGI.
You're feisty early in the morning in Australia.
Feisty all the time, baby. That's
Yeah.
Australia for you.
Now, what aspects? I just showed you the brand new Xbox Live trailer that came out today. They literally just put this up. I thought it was phenomenal. I like the ad campaigns that they're doing where they're using like the voiceover from movies. Yeah, I mean, and what did you think about that? Did you enjoy that?
Oh, it was one of those things where you watch it and, like, literally, I walked. You heard my reaction. I'm like, Team MS, Team MS.
Yeah, I mean they did.
They did
They did
such
a
a good
really good
job.
job. Yeah, I think it's
Whoever
phenomenal.
the hell that they are liaising with, that is their marketing manager, that is saying these are the elements that we need to bring into our new ads, and this is how we're going to capture the imagination of our gamers and inspire them. Dude, you are doing a fucking bang up job, because the last two jobs that you brought out, that shit has been insane. I mean, Sylvester Stallone, who is
Yeah,
not
exactly.
get
I mean,
fired
that's
up by
my
who is not going to be fired up by that?
Yeah, that was like probably my favorite part of that movie. I mean, that
It's
just stung with you when
fantastic.
when I seen that movie, which was the latest one, Rocky Balboa, and he's talking to his son about the world and things like that. I think everybody can relate to that, you know, that things isn't sunshine and rainbows. What I also like about that is Microsoft is kind of admitting that they're taking some hits, but that's not stopping them. You know what I mean? And that's something that I always say with my videos as well, because so many fanboys are like, "Hey, you suck, crap gamer," blah blah blah. I even get emails, messages, all kinds of stuff. I get all threats, all you name it, I get it.
Oh, dude,
And I'm
look, you can
like,
really expect some hate in your message.
yeah, I love it though. That's the thing that's the thing that they don't understand is like anytime that I'm feeling down or upset and I check the comment section or something and I get the hate, I love it. Like that turns my day around. It's like, yeah, I'm getting through because these people are now so pissed off that they're gonna sit there and leave those comments or whatever, and then I know that I've done a good job or for that particular video or what have you. And when people feel enough, like people have even emailed me, went out of their way to email me, and that's when I know that, hey, that's I smile, because I like that stuff. It's not like it's not like a specific troll thing. I like saying my point of view, but if what I'm saying, usually this is what happens when my thought process. If I say something and it's true, or say I'm arguing with somebody and what I say is true, when that person realizes it's true, what I'm saying, they're gonna get pissed off and start being angry and saying mean things. You know what I'm saying? Because they know I've won at that point and they don't have anything else to say. That's what happens. So it's not necessarily a troll thing. I don't look at me as what I do as trolling anybody, but I argue my point very well. And when people realize that, they get pissed off. And then when they get pissed off, I know I've won. That's why you will rarely see me get angry, because I can handle my own. I'm a pretty intelligent guy. And when these people come out with their weak arguments or whatever and I can rebut anything they say, they get pissed off, and and they're, I kind of like that. I think it's fun. Have you had a pretty good experience so far with your YouTube channel?
Look, relatively very positive. There are a couple, and I think that pretty much across the board, these two people, without naming names, seem to just follow everyone around and hate on their videos. And it's really quite sad. But the thing that disturbs me most, and I don't know whether you saw the comments, and the last podcast that you did with Zay,
Yeah,
Nick,
yeah, I seen that you yeah, next gen, yeah, you
he
you left a
deleted
comment
the
in there.
comment. Yeah, and did you see the
Yeah.
comment that got put in underneath it, and he deleted it? And
Yeah.
Next Gen 720, thank you so much for deleting that really disgusting shit out of there, because that was just completely unnecessary. But the thing that I take away from that is what I really want anybody, whether you're on PC, PlayStation, or Xbox, I just want you to take a step back for a second and have a think about, what are you hating on? Are you hating that somebody else is on a platform that's better than the one you're on? Are you hating on the fact that Xbox is getting more triple A's than what PlayStation's getting? What are you hating on? Don't just fucking comment and put all this negative, nasty shit on there, because you can hide behind the anonymity that is YouTube and Facebook. Like, seriously, if you're going to put that shit out there, put your name to it. Don't have a faceless YouTube account that has no direct link back to yourself. Like, if you have something to say, man the fuck up and say it. Don't
Yeah.
just hide behind a faceless fucking YouTube account.
Yeah, I get that too. Like people will be like, "Man, you're ugly ass, fat ass," and I'm like, "Dude, I got my picture on my thing, but you have no picture." So it's easy to sit there and say, "Hey, you're ugly," or "You're this or that," when you have no picture. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't give a crap. You know what I mean? I put my picture up there; it doesn't bother me. You know what I mean? Like I said, I like it, and
Same
when
thing.
people,
Mine up
yeah, when
too.
yeah, when people resort to that kind of thing, it's they're pretty insecure. I enjoy that aspect of it, and it's like you're
Yeah,
100% right. The anonymity of the internet is what drives these people because there is no way I can almost guarantee you that nobody. I've never been stepped up to in real life, and that's not just bullshit talk. I'm a big guy, you know what I'm saying? People have never ever done that to me, you know what I'm saying? And they wouldn't, and
you know
it's just
what I take
and with
away
this.
from that though?
What's
What I
that?
take away from that is
Yeah.
that if the worst thing that you have to do after watching my video is come back and I will quote, "What's wrong with your face?" If that's the worst thing that you have to come back to me about all the content that I put in my video then you know what? I fucking nailed everything that I said in it, and you've got nothing to argue with me about. So the only thing you can say to me is, "Oh, what's wrong with your face?"
Yeah, I mean, then at that point you've
That's
pretty much
mature.
won. Yeah, and the thing is your videos are really good. Like, and I already kind of linked you in one of the comments. If you guys could just check
Thank
out some
you.
of her stuff, it's really really impressive the way she does it. It's really professional, like much more professional than mine. You know what I mean? Like in fact, like you were the one that helped me out with my intro and my outro. Sent
That's
me in the
my
right
pleasure.
direction. Yeah, and so I was like, and people really seem to like that, so that's cool. My only
Well,
hope is,
looks cool. That's why they like it, because it looks cool. That shit's
yeah,
rocking.
yeah, I like that stuff. My old thing was a fan made that for me, which was cool, but I had that for a couple years, and then the original one I had was like this terrible thing that I made, and it was just awful. It was like this Mario cutout that like lurched
I have
forward a
to
little
say
bit.
though, like that music that you had in your old intro, like, oh, dude, I was so glad when you said to me, "So I'm looking for a new intro." I'm like, yes, yes,
Yeah,
I
that
can
was
do
the
it.
Destrega music from like it was a fighting game on the PlayStation, and somebody made that for me. So I mean, I tried messing around with that before, but it's like when you get like closing in on a certain amount of subscribers or whatever else, try to be a little bit more professional. I try to put out as good a content as I can, and my
I-
old intro wasn't really cutting it.
yeah, yeah.
So, but yeah, you were telling me that you built something with your Xbox 360. Why don't you explain exactly what you built?
What I built with my Xbox 360, oh well, my Xbox Slim. So I have an old school fat white boy, which anybody who knows their 360s will know what I'm talking about. And then I also have a Slim, and being a lazy ass gamer like most of us are, I
Yeah,
built a four-poster bed which has a roof that I installed on top of it with non-reflective paint on it, and installed an Xbox on the top and a projector screen so I can like lay back in bed and literally play Xbox on the roof of my bed. It's pretty fantastic.
yeah, and so you can like project and play games while you're laying down, and I think that's really cool. And you were also showing me like you have like homemade Nuka Cola. Like I seen this picture that
Dollars, yeah.
it's like a whole idea. I think that's really cool. And you also did a video about like women gamers and things like that I thought was really good because I do a podcast like with Worrywart and Kinsey Burke. And it's a little bit different than the one I do with Next Gen, the Small Talk Big Gamers one. The one that I do with her, and she really knows her game. I'm saying, and you, this level of fake girl gamer out there that annoys you, and it kind of annoys me too because they like try to capitalize off your gaming culture, and they really don't know anything about games. So how do you feel about that?
It's
Maybe you want to
so frustrating.
share.
Oh, absolutely, because there are some of us out there that are actual genuine gamers that really have been playing for many, many years on many platforms. I mean, I haven't only played on Xbox, I've played on PlayStation, I've played on Nintendo, Atari, Commodore 64. That's where I started. Like, I've played on many, many different platforms, and I know my shit. I report on game. I've actually just been picked up by a company, and I'm now a paid reporter to put together articles on gaming news and bring that shit out to the gaming community. I
What's the
know
name of your site?
what
You,
we're
that
talking
you.
about. No,
What's the name of the site that you
hey,
write for? Hello.
okay, so I have two. I've started off with and will always be loyal to Playback Gaming.
Uh huh.
But the page that I've just been picked up with is the Australia Times, which
Okay.
is kind of relevant to Australia, but
Yeah. Well, that's cool. I mean, I think I posted one of your articles on the Xbox One fan page that I run. I think it was the Sleeping Dogs getting a release on Xbox One.
yeah.
I took that
Mhm.
and posted that up there. I do that sometimes. Like I did that with the Marcus Phoenix collection because there's almost 500,000 likes on there, so it's easy to get news out and things like that. Now there was something that we were talking a bit about before we went live, and that was the delays of games like Batman Arkham Knight got
Yeah.
delayed into next year. Evolve got delayed into next year. There's a lot of games getting delayed into 2015. And how do you feel about that?
Look, I think that it's a good move. If you know as a developer that you cannot produce a 100% fully deliverable product, delay that shit. Bring us something that is bug free, that has been fully tested, that the gaming community is going to jump online and be able to run with and not have this the issues where you can't get online and the servers are always crashing, it's full of bugs, and because that's you rushed that shit out. You had a due date and you rushed it out. Don't do that. If you know you're not going to be able to meet that date, delay it. Give us a full product. Don't give us something where day one we have a massive update that we have to put down, and then we struggle to get online, and when we do get online, we can't get into party chats, we can't play the game completely, we can't download our DLC, they just hold it back. And you're good on you, The Division. Good on you. What else have we had delayed recently?
Battlefield Hardline was delayed.
We've had Evolve. Like there's been quite a few delayed recently, and good on them. Like it takes a lot of gumption. And I don't know whether that's just an Australian term or not, but
Well, yeah, gumption is a word like I think across the world.
okay.
But yeah, it does take a lot of guts too, like because you're gonna lose out on that money.
I would say we're gonna pull this back and we're gonna delay it later, and we're gonna release a fully deliverable product that you're not gonna be bitching at us every 30 fucking seconds because we've given you something that's incomplete.
Yeah, exactly. And Witcher 3 also was delayed into next year.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that was delayed. And I agree with you. I mean, thankfully my wallet will too because this will allow me to get more
Oh,
stuff. You know what I mean?
how
Yeah.
bad was October looking? Like, seriously, how bad was October looking? People were going to have to miss out on their car payments because of October.
Yeah, it was going to be pretty bad. Now it'll be slightly less bad. The good news is like I'm a big Dragon Age fan, and I was happy that they pushed that back just about a month. You know what I mean? Because in November it makes it a little bit easier to get. Um,
Well, there
and,
are a couple of other elements to that as well. It's not just pushing the game back because they couldn't get it developed in time, but there's a lot of controversy around the main character being homosexual, and yeah, they're looking into bringing in another character. So
oh, really? I didn't even know that. I
yeah,
heard
yeah.
that there was just a party character that was going to be that way. Like, are they saying it as the main character or just one of the party characters that's optional?
Well, I'm gonna say before people go putting in the comments, oh Bella, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm gonna say from what I have read, the main character is meant to be a homosexual, and that is the person that you're going to play as. And for me, I had no fucking problem with that whatsoever because, frankly, that makes no difference to me whatsoever. But they had a massive amount of feedback on that, and unfortunately, a lot of it was very negative, which really does sadden me. But a lot of it was very negative, and they are looking at bringing in another playable character that is a selection of just a male or female who happens to be non-homosexual. So yeah, I guess we'll
Yeah, I mean,
hopefully
I
keep
don't particularly care, you know. When I played through
treading
Mass
around that
Effect,
shit so carefully right now.
yeah. When I played Mass Effect, I did a version with a female Shepard or whatever, so I don't really care.
Good God, how hot was Shepard? Like seriously.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that was awesome. You know, I don't have a problem with that. I mean, it's 2014. You know what I mean? People, come on. You know, I personally don't care. But if you had to sell people on why they should subscribe to your channel, what would you say?
Oh, look, I would tell them that I'd say it how it is, and that there is nothing that I do not say on my channel that is not factual, that does not have validity, and that I cannot back up.
Yeah, well, you know what's funny is like I do pretty much the same thing. Like I have different things. Like I'll do rumor videos, but I post them in a rumor. I have a rumor section on my channel, or if I have facts, I make sure that I post the links to the articles or whatever in the description. Um, you know, so there's either going to be rumor, there's going to be factual things, or there's opinion pieces, which I also have an opinion section. You know, and people still get angry no matter. They'll still get mad. You know what I'm saying? So I've learned just to kind of say fuck it and just kind of do what I want. But
You
that's cool.
can do. Oh.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I like your channel. You know, I think your channel's good. There's a lot of people's channels like, you know, originally like Next Gen was one of the first ones to be pro Xbox, and just because you're pro Xbox doesn't mean that you're anti anything else. But what happens is, and we've all seen it, the big sites get paid from revenue by people clicking on their sites, much like we do as YouTubers or whatever. The problem is the internet is mostly pro Sony and anti Microsoft right now. So anytime you can slate Microsoft and give props to Sony, you're going to get hits for that, right? And so the sites do that, and that's what they do. So you won't see very many negative Sony stories on these big sites. So what I do is I'll make sure I run these stories. You know what I mean? And people take that as you must hate Sony and all this kind of stuff, which isn't the case. I will buy a PlayStation 4 when it makes sense for me because I don't feel like there's any games worthwhile right now, or even in 2015, their lineup is really kind of lackluster for me. Um,
You know, hashtag PS4 has no game.
yeah, exactly. You know, like I have a Wii U and an Xbox One, and you know I got a bunch of other consoles too, 360 of course, and I got a PS3, and you know I got a bunch of stuff. But you know, I usually buy these consoles at launch, and this is like probably one of the first times where I haven't bought one at launch. And it's based off the games. You know, I kind of was screwed around a little bit when I bought the PS3 because there was no games for that for years. You know, I was literally playing like PS2 games in my PS3 because there was no games, nothing I was interested in, and people just don't believe it. They'll just start throwing out indie games or PC ports or, you know, free-to-play games as like reasons to buy these things, and I'm telling people that no, you don't understand. I'm not interested in this. Okay, I do like Uncharted, but one game that's going to come out at the end of 2015 or possibly even 2016 isn't a reason for me to buy one right now. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Um,
absolutely, absolutely. And we've actually had a relatively pertinent question come through to us, considering that it's only 24 hours old since the news came out. And Beamum has asked us, so what are your thoughts on Ryse no longer being exclusive at Xbox One, and that it will be 4K compatible on PC?
Yeah, I saw that. Like a lot of people were running with this yesterday. Like, oh man, it's the end of Xbox. They're putting, you know, they're putting games on PC. Microsoft has always shared some games with PC, and in fact, published their own games on PC. You know, it's their
He
ecosystem.
had this exact same argument this morning, and he was saying the exact same thing. Like, of course, it was going to end up there, and you know, basically, at the end of the day, Crytek and Capcom are two of the companies that have been in the biggest financial issues, and we love anything that has come out of Crytek and Capcom. We love everything that they produce, and to know that Ryse is going to be able to go over to the PC and be able to capitalize on look, let's face it. I mean, I love my console. I'm a console gal, but PC, if you're going to capitalize on technologies, that's where you're going to do it, and that's where we're really going to see the Crytek engine shine. So
Yeah,
if that's what they need to do, then do it. Do it. Bring the money in, infuse it into your infrastructure, and use that to then come back with better deliverables.
yeah. People were expecting me to be real upset. I guess they were kind of taken aback on Twitter when I took the opposite stance. I said, "Hey, this is something that Microsoft has done." Even with the original Xbox, the Xbox 360 certainly, they're still console exclusives. It's not like you're loading them up in the PS4. Then people maybe could get upset. But this is just PC, which is Microsoft's ecosystem as well. And in fact, I tried telling people, I was like, look, it makes financial sense for all these companies, even Microsoft, to put some of their games on PC. KOTOR, the first Halo, the second Halo, the first Gears of War, Viva Pinata, all these games made it to PC. It makes sense. Like the Master Chief Collection, that's probably going to hit PC sometime next year, because there's multiple sites that listed that, and even though Microsoft denied it, I still think sometime in the future they will, just because there's a big outcrying for that and a big potential audience for that. When you look at, as opposed to the Xbox One audience, where there's 5-6 million Xbox Ones, there's a lot of PCs out there. And as far as Ryse and 4K, I think that that's great, but how many percentage of PC gamers out there actually have a 4K capable rig that's going to be able to run Ryse, which is the most beautiful game I've ever seen? It's probably not going to be very many, but I think it's cool that some might be able to do that.
And do it.
Yeah,
Bring
but I
it
don't
on.
look at that as a...
Show it. Show us how beautiful. Like, we just won the awards. We, like I was on the development team.
Yeah.
But Ryse just won the award for like the most epic scenery. Like they have gone up and above and beyond what we expected from a day one release.
Yeah, exactly. I
And
mean, that game was the first
now,
one I played.
yeah, and we've now got the ability to see what they can do when they take that technology across to the PC, where the possibilities are pretty much endless, and they can capitalize on everything. I mean, can you imagine if we're that fucking impressed with what they brought to us from a day one exclusive? How impressed we're going to be with what we can see, what they come up with on PC?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see possibly some screenshots. I know we'll probably see some, mostly because there's a lot of sites that will try to make it look like the Xbox One version is bad when comparing that to like some like $15,000 PC screenshot. Because that's what they do. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So, but I think that people that were like expecting me to be all upset or whatever are probably a little bit disappointed, because I'm not. And you even look at like Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2, or even Titanfall, right? All these people on the internet claim they were going to buy Titanfall on PC, and you look at the sales and
Yeah.
PC, what the PC sales, yeah, they didn't even buy it. Like it sold most on Xbox One, and yeah, I'm like, wow, okay, so all of a sudden all these people that, and it's funny to me was all these like the ponies and stuff, they're like, oh well, Ryse sucks, and now they're like, I'm gonna get it on PS4, on PC. You know what I mean? I'm like, well, you just said the game sucked, it was horrible, but now of course you got a 4K capable PC, and you're gonna be playing it on PC. I kind of call bullshit on that, but I hope that it does make some sales. I hope people buy it instead of pirated it, because it's a good game. Uh, you know. So I hopefully that
Definitely. And look, something that I touched on with iMovie this morning was about Capcom and their release of Resident Evil, the remake of the remake of the remake. How do you feel about the remake of the remake of the remake? Because I
well,
have strong feelings about it, but I'd like to let you go first.
you know what? I feel like, man, if you take like, I feel like this generation is last generation but remastered so far. I mean, there's a few games here and there that make it worthwhile and next gen to me, but for the most part, man, I'm just like, even if you look at things like Assassin's Creed 4, you could actually call that a a remake because it launched after the last gen versions and at a higher resolution. So I mean, even like Rayman Legends, Madden, NBA 2K4, all these games were on they're basically upscaled ports and things like that from last generation, and it looks much worse even when you think about that. But then you think about even like Call of Duty, Battlefield, I guess, was a little bit of a different
Don't you
story.
goddamn well bring Call of Duty into this argument.
Well, what was funny was I bought Call of Duty Ghosts on the 360 because the Xbox One wasn't out yet.
Because I cannot argue Ghost. I cannot argue Ghost.
Yeah,
Anything Ghosts, I can argue that, but don't bring that into it.
yeah. Well, no, I'm just saying, like, I actually like the campaign a lot on Ghosts. Like, I'm one of those weirdos. I
It
like the
was
campaigns and stuff.
absolute fucking epic. Like, the campaign on Ghost was so gripping and it was emotionally attaching and like, all right, this is the first time that I will admit this live. I kind of teared up a little.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it had a really good story. It was really well written. The dog was cool. I really liked it. And like I said,
Riley was the bomb. I loved Riley. The whole
yeah,
time I was in the campaign, I'm like, if this dog dies, and I'm sorry, if anybody's watching and listening right now and you don't want to spoil us, stop listening. I'm giving you 3, 2, 1. If this dog dies, I am totally boycotting Call of Duty, but thank fuck he didn't kill the dog off, so.
yeah,
Yeah.
even though the dog did get shot.
This polite thing of giving people a spoiler warning, so.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I liked it, and then I thought, I bought it on 360, and then they did this thing at GameStop where you can trade it in and give them $10 extra and get the Xbox One version. So that's what I did, and and I liked it for the first few days, and then they started patching it, and I was explaining to you off air about this that the game was really good. And then people start complaining that certain guns are overpowered or whatever, and so they start nerfing the guns. And then it's like you might as well be doing a slap fight with people or a spitball fight because the guns do nothing. You know what I mean? And that takes away the fun. It's like in a competitive multiplayer game, when you get beat by somebody in a gunfight, you're always going to think that the gun you lost to was overpowered. You never look to yourself and say, hey, well, maybe he just got a better shot or is better at the game than me. It's always, oh, the gun's overpowered. You know what I mean? And then they start ruining the games.
And then the problem that this kind of bickering and shit promotes is that all the standard guns of the people who are running gunners, which is primarily what Call of Duty is meant to be about.
Yeah.
They get completely, they get lowered in their power levels, and then these bitches that sit up on high-rise buildings with their sniper rifles or run around with new tubes or camp in like the dark shadow corners of the game, they end up owning, and it's stop bitching about your weapons being overpowered in Call of Duty, guys. Like, seriously, if you do not want to have nothing but campers, snipers, and new tubers, then stop bitching on the forums about about the guns being overpowered, because all they're going to do is continue to nerf them, and they're going to become less powerful, and more people are going to camp in the corners, and it's going to make the game less and less enjoyable.
I agree, and hopefully they bring back the standard UAV for the next Call of Duty, and then I'd be in, because this is the first one. Usually I
where everybody can see it. What the fuck?
Yeah, exactly. Like I didn't like the little put the little things to the side and they last about 15 seconds, and you need like 3 other people in your team to have them. You know what I mean? And nobody runs with them. I'm like, wow, this thing's worthless. So yeah, there's like.
I'm really lucky in the situation that I'm in because I run a Call of Duty clan. We have teams that run different setups that complement each other. So we will all have, if we're running a support class.
I run a clan too. That's the funny thing, but everybody's like, they want to get their high kill streak or whatever. You know what I mean?
No. There's no room for that shit. There is no room for that shit. You're
Yeah,
gonna ball
you're a ball breaker. That's what I needed to be for
and
for
shot.
for the guys I game with. Hey, put on those damn UAVs and you'd like it. You know what I mean? Instead,
That's
it's
it.
like,
You put on your UAVs, you put on your fucking ballistic vests, and I know you've got room for 3. I don't want you to have on 3. I want you to have on 2, because you'll cycle through that fucking shit quicker, and you'll
but
be more of an asset to the team.
it really sucks. Like the Call of Duty, like the whole pick 10 thing. Like it sounds good, but then when everybody on your team isn't running with like a grenade or whatever because they can't afford it, you know what I mean? Like you're like, wow, or no secondary, no launchers. Like I'm the only person that ever runs with a launcher. So like at that point,
Oh,
it's like, wow. Ugh.
I'm sorry, we're getting divorced.
I'm the only one that runs a launcher. It's like, okay, there's
Yeah,
like,
well, launches are for noobs. No, I didn't just say that. I'm sorry.
well, you got to take down the enemy things. You know what I mean? It's funny, So,
Oh,
yeah,
you
but
know
all
your
right.
stuff.
Anyway, I've already taken up a lot of your time. I really appreciate you coming on and talking a little bit about Xbox One. Is there anything you want to leave the people with before we wrap up?
Well, there's one major thing that you all need to do, and if you haven't done it already, you should be fucking ashamed of yourselves. But you need to jump on any and every social media outlet that you have access to and do 2 things. The first one is hashtag the Marcus Phoenix collections. The second one is hashtag bring back OG Xbox games. If you haven't done that recently or at all, jump on it now, because seriously, it's really important to all of us.
Yeah, if you look at the original Xbox, like real quick, that was like a real hardcore gaming machine. Like it had so many great games. It had like this big underground kind of cult following, I guess. You know what I mean? Like the PS2 was insurmountable because it appealed to a lot of people, a lot of casuals, a lot of parent. It was the Wii of its generation. It had the cheap
Yeah.
DVD player and things like that, right? So if you wanted that real hardcore gaming machine, it was the original Xbox, and I still have mine and a ton of Xbox games. I'm actually in the middle of doing some Let's Plays with some OG Xbox game to actually help kick off the whole support OG Xbox deal. Like, I did that to support Iron Wolf 2 with the Marcus Phoenix collection. I did a video about that, and I also put that
Yeah,
up on the.
you must be getting the shits with every single day seeing me tweeting the Marcus Phoenix collection.
Yeah, I mean, I support those things. Even though I got a lot of hate for that, they're like, "Oh, crappy! You think The Last of Us is a ripoff getting a remake, but you're all for the Marcus Phoenix collection and the Master Chief collection." I'm like, hell yeah, 3 games for the price of one, or 4 games for the price of one. You damn right.
There's
You know what I mean? And those
massive.
games didn't just come out last year.
All right,
So
you just brought up something that's going to make me rant on for about 15 to 20 minutes. So I'm going to try and nutshell this. There is a massive difference between remastering a game that was released, 12, less than 24 months ago,
yeah,
and bringing it to the next gen. You have 2 series here. We're talking about Halo, and we're talking about Gears of War. Now, as Blazing Phoenix put, they are the testament to Xbox gaming. They're like our Bible. They are the 2 series that, regardless of what way you sway, you either love Gears of War or you love Halo. Like the, the there is
or you
no
love both. I love both.
there is nobody out there that cannot say they don't love one or the other. Now, bringing those collections to the new gen is common fucking sense. Not only is it good marketing, not only will it bring a lot of money back into the company and the developers that they choose to bring on board to do so, and the publishers that they put on board for it, but it will keep the community happy. And that's one of the massive things that Phil Spencer has been able to do since he come on board, as opposed to his predecessors, or Yoshida, who just doesn't understand these people who only wants AAA games. He actually listens to what we say. He listens to the feedback that we give him. And he knows that there are certain things that, as gamers who have put a lot of money into our new consoles, that have previously spent thousands upon thousands of dollars on our 360 and OG consoles, we don't want to lose the ability to play these classic cult followed games. Like, these are games that we grew up with. They molded and shaped the gamers that we are today.
What was your favorite OG Xbox game?
Oh, that's a really fucking tough one. That is a really tough one. I I'm gonna have to go with Gears. I'm gonna have to go with Gears just because, well, you know, Marcus and those
Yeah.
muscles and the muscly voice and yeah, but Marcus.
Yeah, the guy that does his voice also does Bender's voice in Futurama, so
Shut the fuck up! I don't want to hear
he does. And you hope they bring him back for Gears 4, right?
it. Absolutely.
Well, we know they're bringing back Coltrane, so if they bring back Coltrane, they better bring
Not
back
stop the train, baby.
Marcus.
It's not stop the
Yeah.
train.
But yeah, the first time I remember playing the original Gears, man, on my 360, and you hear Coltrane like cussing, and he's like yelling at the Locust, and I'm like, damn, man, that's a character right there. And yeah, I knew I was hooked on that franchise from that point on.
Yeah.
And then I love them all. Even Judgment, I liked somewhat. I liked the campaign at least.
Well, we're not
Um,
to sell cookies.
yeah, exactly. So anyway, make sure you guys subscribe to Bella's channel. I'm gonna make sure I got a link up in a comment, and I'm gonna go ahead and do it when the description's up as well. Thank you very much for coming on here. And anybody that has like a small YouTube channel that wants a little bit of recognition, I'm gonna start doing some one-on-ones with you guys. Just send me a message or something, and I'll try to set it up. But I really appreciate you coming on and talking and everything. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and by all means, guys, sub me. I'll sub you back. I'm happy to help anybody out. One of the main things that I do in the community is try and bring us all together, regardless of whether you're on Xbox or PC or PlayStation. We're all gamers. We love games, and that's what we're here for. We're here for the games. So you need help with your channel, sub me. I'll sub you back.
Yeah. Okay. So with
Order-
that, make sure you guys sub, and thanks for watching, everybody. I really appreciate it. Talk to you guys later.